Elyse DeLucci Show. I'm your host, Elyse, and welcome to my living room on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. How are you doing? Today's episode 19, I could barely believe it. We're talking about, can you really be yourself at work? I talked about this on TikTok, for like 30 seconds, but we're going to get into it. Also, sex clubs. Hello, this is a thing. News to me. How did I live all these years without knowing that sex clubs are a thing? Okay, and Reiki, we're doing a recipe. So take a sip of your drink, relax, and let's chat. Okay, fact of the day. This is insane. Wait till you hear this. So, do you know the guy who started Pringles? His name is Fred Bauer. Well, when he died, he wanted to be cremated, and his ashes, he was buried with his ashes in a Pringles can. Can you believe that? And wait, it gets better. This is a fact. Here's another one. The guy that invented the Frisbee, I don't know his name, but when he died, he requested that his ashes be molded into a Frisbee. Okay, and then, this gets even better. The guy, Bialetti, the Italian octagon coffee thing, the coffee pot. Like Italians, they call it like a maganette. It's a little silver thing that sits on your grandmother's stove. Well, that guy, the guy who founded the Bialetti pot, he wanted his remains to be in a coffee pot and buried next to his wife. Like, what the hell? I mean, this is what I got to say. They stayed on brand, right? They stayed true to their company. Can't say they weren't devoted employees. But those are facts. Isn't that insane? Anyway, so how are you? Are you good? Are you having a good week? The second wave of this virus in New York, the schools are closed. New York City closed their public school systems. That's lovely. Okay. And the whole world's going fucking mad. Okay. I feel like, because I tried to go get toilet paper on Amazon the other day, and we're going to have a round 2 of this shit because I can't handle it. I have very specific things. I wanted to get toilet paper and wet ones, the antibacterial hand wipes. Like, if you're a mother and you're listening to this, or maybe, I don't know, you just like to use antibacterial hand wipes, but more if you're a mother, that stuff we just keep in our bag. Like, we have to keep that in our bag at all times. And I don't really like always the gel, just because sometimes it doesn't dry, and then who's putting their fingers in their nose and their mouth? All I want to do is buy some toilet paper and wet ones on Amazon, God forbid. So, this is great. But then I went to Trader Joe's. Okay, I went to Trader Joe's over the weekend on the Upper West Side. It's on, I think it's on 90th and 92nd and 93rd Street. Anyway, and if you don't live in New York, I apologize. You have no idea where that is. That's okay. But here's the thing. Lines around the corner. So if you don't live in New York and you have a Trader Joe's, like, is this how it is by you? Now, granted, if you're in the suburbs and you're going to the supermarket, I know you have a lot of options. You probably got ShopRite, Stop and Shop. Maybe you got a beautiful Wegmans, Whole Foods, Costco. Okay, I'm getting supermarket porn right now. But Trader Joe's is, they listen. It's the prices are good, not as good as Aldi, And what's up with Aldi? You gotta get. They don't even want to give you a bag. Okay, I need a tangent. Okay, because I was in Pennsylvania a few months ago. I went into Aldi, and I was so excited to go in there, right? And if you're abroad, you guys had Aldi before we did, so this is like a whole new world for us. I go into Aldi in Pennsylvania a few months ago. I'm buying, I don't know, maybe 6 things. There was literally no bag. It wasn't even an offer of, do you want to buy a bag? And I didn't have a bag in my thing. I walked to my car with my arms full of groceries. Can you imagine? Like, I know, you're listening. Like, I literally had apples rolling down my wrist, practically onto the floor. It was so embarrassing. You know what I did? I had to do it old school. I had to turn my shirt into like a woven basket. Okay, expose my stretch mark lined belly and carry my groceries like a Mama Shayna all the way to my trunk of my car. I couldn't even. Anyway, back to Trader Joe's. So I go to the Trader Joe's, right? Lines around the corner. I mean, and here's the best, a double line. It wasn't even a single line. Yeah, so, it's like, they're doing double line, and it's like, okay, you on the left, you could go. Now you on the right, you can go. And it was painstaking. Whoever comes out of the store, then the next one could go. Oh, please. The only thing that was good about it is that once you actually got into Trader Joe's, it wasn't a zoo. It was like maybe 35 people in the whole store. I never had a more beautiful shopping experience in there my whole time ever shopping at Trader Joe's. But God, the lines. I'm sure by you're dealing with lines. Anyway, I just got HBO. I know. Hello, 2020. But you know what? Here's the thing. There's the cord cutters, the cord nevers. Do you know about this? So, like, I am neither of these people. So if you subscribe to cable, so this is a thing, right? In like tech and media, where I do my day job. So there's a thing like the cord. If you never heard of this, so it's like if you have cable, I have Verizon Fios cable, and that means that I have the cord, right? I have OTT, which is Netflix and Amazon Prime, over the top streaming channels, through the Wi-Fi that you don't need cable for, and then you could also have Verizon Fios or whatever your cable provider is, and that's corded. So I have both, but there are this group of people called cord cutters, and that means they're cutting the cable cord and they're just having the OTT channels, Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, whatever. Or they're the cord nevers, okay? These are just like the young kids that just never know cable. They're like, what? What's a cable box? What's a check? These kind of people. Anyway. I'm doing it old school. I'm calling up Verizon. I'm like, yeah, can you add HBO to my package? Like, I feel like I felt the woman on the phone be like, is this girl serious right now? Like she wants HBO. Like people are hacking away channels. You know why I needed HBO? Because I needed to watch The Undoing. Please tell me you're watching this show. You know what? This just reminded me. I got to do a TikTok about this because I have not seen a better show since, I don't know, The Sopranos or I don't need Seinfeld or Curb Your Enthusiasm or Big Little Lies. That was good. But oh my God, The Undoing is so good with Hugh Grant and Nicole Kidman. It takes place on the Upper East Side, my neighborhood. And it's just so good. It's about a murder. It's sort of like a murder mystery thing, but it's all, takes place in this sort of, they're very wealthy people. Not everybody that lives on the Upper East Side is wealthy. Let me just put that out there for you, okay? But it's like it takes place in the beautiful, idyllic Upper East Side, and the kids are all in private school, and all the mothers and fathers are, the who are you, and what do you wear, and what do you drive, and what sort of charities do you support? And then there's this big murder. And it's just so good, and the writing is good, and the shots are gorgeous, and the clothes, the wardrobe is amazing. And one of my friends, Stephanie, hi if you're listening, Stephanie, we went to UCB together a few years ago, and her daughter actually has a little role in the show. She plays one of the daughters of one of Nicole Kidman's friends, and that was actually the reason why I got it. I got it because I wanted to see my friend's daughter in it, because I just think it's the coolest thing. She's been posting pictures on Facebook, But then I'm watching it, and I'm like, holy shit, this show is so good. It's only 6 episodes. Tonight was the 5th episode, and so today is Sunday, and I watched the 5th episode. The next week, so next Sunday, they are going to be having the season finale. So if you have HBO, you gotta watch it. Like it's so good. It's your new show. I'm telling you. Anyway, so I'm doing holiday recipe or just recipes, but this is a holiday one. So when I was in Traders, okay, they had this nice thing. Do you buy this bag? It's a bag of shaved Brussels sprouts. It was like it's like 1 pound bag. I don't know, like 15 ounces, 16 ounces, whatever. All it is shaved Brussels sprouts, and they tell you like on the back of the thing, oh, you could like saute a shallot and put some Brussels sprouts in the pan with olive oil and sort of like heat it up, and then maybe serve it with a little Parmesan cheese. Very nice. But you know what I did? So I made this little Brussels sprout salad. So here's the recipe. This is all I did. I got the bag of the shaved Brussels sprouts. I did put about a half of a shallot raw. I sliced it really thin, put it in a bowl well, let me say this. Let me start over. I took the bag of Brussels sprouts. I put it in a pot of boiling water, and I blanched them for maybe like 2 minutes. Then obviously I rinsed them under cold water. I put them in a bowl. Then I put about a half a shallot sliced thin in the bowl, a handful of cranberries, a handful of walnuts, some chopped up apples. I also had a couple of dried apricots. I chopped those up thin. I threw them in the bowl. I also had provolone cheese. I cubed up because I don't like salads without cheese. I have an eating problem. I put the provolone in the thing. And then I made a little dressing, salad dressing for this Brussels sprout salad. And all I used was like about a quarter of a cup of apple cider vinegar, some salt and pepper. I put a teaspoon of sugar, and then about a half a cup of olive oil. And I just, whisked it all together really quick with a fork. in a bowl. And then I just poured it over the salad. And that was it. I served it warm. It was so good. It was so good. I do like the taste of Brussels sprouts. I mean, I know they're not for everybody, but what I like about this Brussels sprout salad is that, you're eating Brussels sprouts, so it's healthy, but it's not like you're eating them in the traditional roasted sense. And because there's sugar in the dressing, it makes it sweet, and the cranberries make it sweet. So I actually think it's something that if you're not a Brussels sprout fan, I think it's worth trying. Let me know if you use those shaved Brussels sprouts. I want to know how else I can use them. But this is all I came up with so far. The salad and then, the recipe obviously on the back of the package. So innovative of me, Elyse. Some of these back of the package recipes, though, are very good. You know that. You know it. Like the Rice Krispie recipe on the back of the Rice Krispie cereal box. Come on, you can't go wrong with that. Anyway. Okay. So here's the thing. We're going to talk about work right now, okay? And showing your true colors at work. I did a TikTok about this, and how I read it. So I read an article about a week ago, and it said that we should all be our authentic, true selves at work, and it was sort of going through the list of why we should be our true selves. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? What author wrote, where do you live and what planet do you exist on? You gotta be 22 or 23, and no offense if that's your age listening, because I'm sorry, kid. That's not how it works. You can't walk around at work just, shaking your sillies out, being whoever you are, because it's just not, because you want to know what? The work environment, workplaces have a culture, okay? A culture. And the word cult comes from culture, okay? And you got to fit in with the culture. I don't give a shit what you say. I mean, and this is no offense to the Inc. or Forbes or whatever writer it is, but let me tell you, these are my thoughts. So, first of all, let me say this. About 100 years ago, when I shouldn't say everybody, when a lot of people were working, more people working in factories and assembly lines and that sort of thing, and the work was repetitive and predictable, there's studies that are done that say that these people were happier. They are happy. This group of people 100 years ago were happier than us American workers are today, because they'd go in, they'd do a job. I don't want to say it's mindless, but you're standing on a line, you put in the eraser on top of the pencil, and that's all you're doing for the day. Maybe you're talking to your girlfriend next door to you. What did you say, Don? Oh yeah, what'd you do last week? But that's it. And you're just doing the pencil. But today's friggin' ridiculous. So I was reading, this article, this one article I read, and it was talking about how today people have this thing, they call it a spiritual workaholic. I love this, a spiritual workaholic. But you're good, listen to this. You're totally going to agree with this. So that was 100 years ago, right? But what is it today? Today, we go to work, and it's first of all, we go to college or whatever, a vocational school, or we study in high school, and we study so hard. To be, what are we going to be? What are we going to do for a job? And once we get into this job, it's today everybody wants to be so engaged with their work. Everybody wants to be so engaged with their employers. It's like they need to be seen. It's like they need to be motivated. They need to be mission driven, right? By their jobs. I mean, you watch any of these commercials, any of the big tech commercials you see on the TV or ads, whatever, and everybody's talking. It's almost like join the revolution. So there's this idea that this article was talking about the spiritual workaholic. And I love that because it's so true, But but it's ridiculous. But it's ridiculous because, it's like maybe you would say, well, a spiritual workaholic is going to, you sort of float around and be mission driven and is going to be individual and, march to their own drum. But no, you cannot do that. I am sorry. And so what this article continued to say is it said that there was also research that said that some of the best performing employees today are actually, they're great impression managers. So basically what that means is that they're good at putting on a freaking hat and a mask and being whoever they need to be. Basically your emotional intelligence is just about your ability to manage sort of impressions, to get along with more people, to make people like you, and basically do all this in a way that seems authentic, who really knows who you really are underneath that hat and mask? You know what I'm saying? So that's what they're saying for so it's like this one piece of the article was like, well, high performing employees, they just have high emotional intelligence. They're just good impression artists. And I believe it. Oh, I 100% believe it. I mean, look, let's be serious. First of all, like I said, all these employers are talking about be yourself, be individual. We want to have independent thinkers. We want people at the top of their game. That's great. But then they also have a culture behind them, whether it's, Google and their culture, or I don't know, maybe you work at In-N-Out Burger and they have a culture. Like you have to fit in with that culture. Part of the culture is how you look, how you conduct yourself. I mean, how you approach customer service things. I mean, if you're a misanthropic motherfucker that's a New York cynic, okay, like most of us, are you gonna get hired in a customer service job? Maybe a Geico insurance? No, they don't want me on the phone with this voice, doubting everything, questioning everything, So I just don't buy this bullshit of being yourself. It literally is bullshit to me. And it's like, here's the thing, okay? Wherever you are in the world listening, and me sitting in my apartment in Manhattan, it's like we all, no matter our age, we all started jobs. And on that first day or that first week, it's like, ooh, it's like you're twiddling your thumbs. That's what I'm doing right now, twiddling my thumbs. And it's like, ooh, should I be like everybody here? Should I be myself? Ooh, what should I wear? Do I tell people how old I am? Do I tell them I'm married? Ooh, do I tell them, my thoughts, what I did in the past, why I really left my last job, or what my life is like at home? And when you Google that stuff, okay, you freaking Google, and it's like all these articles like, of course you should tell everybody yourself. Okay, let me tell you something, okay? I've always been like super into my jobs, like super. I don't know. When I was 17 years old, I swear to God, when I was 17 years old, I'll never forget going to Burlington Coat Factory after work one day. I had a lot of jobs, when I was younger, but one job I worked in a shoe store in the mall, and going to Burlington Coat Factory, and I bought a skirt. I found this faux suede tan skirt to the knee. It had like a little modest slit in it, and I remember saying, "Oh, I'm going to save this for my job one day." I was just always so into whatever job I was going to have. Probably validated whoever I thought I was or wanted to be, whatever that was, right? I was so into it, and everywhere I worked had a different culture, like. Whether, I worked in a basement office in Nolito where Moby lived upstairs and it was a bunch of editors and, and sort of a techie-ish startup. I don't want to get into too much detail, but that had its own sort of funky culture, and that was years ago. I worked for very corporate companies where, we're expected to wear the blue blazer with the gold buttons, and maybe a penny loafer or something, okay? And you just have to dress the part. I worked at ad tech startups where, everybody's wearing glasses, and it's like, why don't you give me that pair of glasses? Are there real prescription lenses in there? Let me see about that, because I know I wear glasses, but they're prescription. But it's like, so I just don't buy this shit, and I know I'm sure you agree. So wait, there's this person, this woman, I don't know her name, but she works at State Farm. She's the head of diversity there, and she says that. At State Farm Insurance, diversity and inclusion, they're not just words. It's like it's like in their ethos, right? It's just what they do, and they really encourage everybody to be yourself, and they pride themselves on that. But again, what does that actually look like day to day? And where is the line drawn? That's what I want to know, right? I mean, you have to agree with this, right? You must agree with me on this. Like, okay, so guess what? Me and you, doll. We're whoever's here listening to me. Okay, so you and I, we're getting a job at State Farm. We're both starting this upcoming Monday, and it's like, and we know that State Farm is all inclusive and into diversity. But it's like, is that just sort of some sort of political and cultural societal mission that they want to do? They want to spread out there that they're all inclusive and diverse, or is that really how they are? Because when we start our jobs on Monday at State Farm, like. I don't know. Like, I don't think I could go in there with pink hair and half my face tattooed and talking about, like, that I was taking bong hits on the weekend. Disclaimer, I don't do that. But, like, that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? I just don't know what with diversity and inclusion. I don't want to say diversity. I really want to say inclusion and being your real self, air quotes, what that looks like every day. And where's the line drawn? That's what I want to know. Where is the line drawn? Because I just don't buy it. I'm not saying that I go into whatever job I have and I'm phony baloney. No. Part of who I am at work is part of my real self, of course, but I'm sorry. Like if I get a job and I will give my all to it and I will work 100%, but if I know I'm not allowed to curse, or if I know, or I should say not allowed, I should say if I know cursing's not appreciated, if I know that, it's more of sort of a buttoned up culture, I'm not gonna be saying, where's my coffee? Margaret, where's my, I'm just not, like, I'm just can't, because I need a paycheck just like the next person. So I'm just not buying this shit, okay? I don't care. I don't care what anyone says. And listen, it's like, it does take a mental toll. I want to say that too. Not only am I not buying the be yourself, you should be yourself, but like I want to say, and I feel like you would agree with this, is that when you are sort of shielding yourself, like that takes freaking effort. Like I think as the years go on, at least for me, the years go on, it becomes easier. Like I just obviously know what to say, know what not to say. I just whatever. I don't talk as much. I keep to myself. I'm not there to make friends. Sorry to all my coworker friends. I mean, I am friends with you, especially for jobs that we used to work together. But in my current job, in your current job, are you there to make friends? I don't think so. But it's like, it does take a toll. It's hard to restrain yourself. And sometimes I don't even want to say sometimes. I mean, right? Like by the end of the week, you walk in your door and you're just like, ugh. Who was I all this week? Look at this nonsense I got to talk about, Ugh. I mean, and that's why The Office was such a great show. But not that they all walked around, being, anyway. You know what I'm saying, right? I just can't. I just can't. Like, I have one more thing to say. If you are a woman and you're working in a male-dominated sort of office or industry, like say you're a foreman on a construction site or something, and you're a girl, right? It's like and you hear your people. I mean, I shouldn't say this, but because I'm stereotyping, but it's like say you hear your colleagues, the construction worker colleagues, and they're catcalling women and stuff. This is like it's like devaluing you. It's like you gotta protect. It's almost devaluing part of who you are, part of your identity. You almost have to like turn a blind eye to the fact that like you're a woman and you're working in the streets with these guys, and even though it's like even though you're there to do a job and they're there to do a job, that's the culture. So you just gotta like be tight-lipped, pretend you don't care, even if you're going home and say catcalling women is so important to you, like you can't that not doing that is so important to you, and you go home and it makes you feel really bad, right? Like you just have to shield yourself. It's just the way the world is, and I just wish there was not as many of these bullshit articles talking about be yourself, this, that, and the other thing. I mean, it would be great if that's what it is, but it's just not, and everybody knows it from the top to the bottom, And I should say, there are some cases, right, where you work at a company and you do just fit the mold, and that's awesome. Like that's the dream right there. I mean, you might have a nightmare boss, you might be working, crazy hours, you may whatever, but sometimes that happens, but not always, Anyway. Okay. Listen to this. So just when you think you know somebody, okay, this is always the thing, isn't it? So I'm talking to one of my girlfriends, and she says to me, out of nowhere, Elyse, I'm so upset all the clubs are closed. And I'm like, oh, me too. I can't wait to get back on stage. Oh, I'm dying. The comics, we're all in the city doing, well, not me. A lot of comics are doing shows in the park, in Central Park. And I mean, I don't know. I grew up in New York, so I don't go to the park at 9 o'clock at night. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, and she's like, wait, what are you talking about? I'm not talking about comedy clubs. I'm like, well, what are you talking about? Like, she goes, oh, I'm talking about the sex clubs. And she takes a bite of her sandwich. And I'm like, the what? The sex clubs? And I'm like, wait, hold the bacon. What are you talking about right now? And she's like, Elyse, are you serious? She says, you don't know about the sex clubs? And I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I know about dance clubs and nightclubs and comedy clubs, and I know about strip clubs because I had to do investigative research there one day in a strip club. We should get to that on another topic. It's actually good stories. You'll love it. But I don't know about sex clubs. Do you know about this? Do you? Do you go to these things? Because I don't. I didn't even know they exist. And I'm probably living next door to one for all I know. So this is what she told me. So it's like, okay, there are these clubs. Some of them you could just walk in. You pay, you like walk into a nightclub. Some of them you just walk in and you pay, $50 or whatever to get into this club. And some of them you have to apply to be part of a club, and they vet you, to fill out an application form and this whole thing. And these are sex clubs. People go to meet other people, either to have sex with, like at the club. Like there's like beds at the club. I can't even I can't even deal with this right now. And then there's other things, kink parties. Yeah, so it's like you go into the club to have sex, you go in there to meet people that are into BDSM or kinky shit that you like, and it's all about this whole thing, sex positivity. Like, this is mind-blowing. This is like, you know what this is like? This is like when Haagen-Dazs came out with that little tiny mini Haagen-Dazs ice cream. When I realized I can go to the freezer section at the supermarket and I can get a few spoonfuls size of a mini ice cream pot, Haagen-Dazs, little vanilla shot of ice cream. That was mind-blowing. This is just as mind-blowing, okay? So it's like if you're curious. So it's like if you are into the kink, you just want to have a sex partner, you want to find somebody for just sex, or you're a couple and you're curious. So she tells me, she's like, Elyse, it's not that terrible though. And I'm thinking, you're fucking crazy, girl. But she said it's not that terrible because she said, if you're into it, it's not like you have to feel like it's a predatory environment. She said because they don't let single men in. So if you're a woman, they don't let single men in. They let only couples and straight girls, a lot of the clubs. I'm like, I don't care. Like, I'm like, good luck to you. Have a great time. Hope you're using your wet ones to clean off whatever seat you're sitting on in that thing. But anyway, if it's your thing and you're into it, she told me some of them. So one of them is called Pandora's Box. It's in the city. It's on 26th Street on the west side. It's apparently one of New York's biggest BDSM dungeons. Yeah, it's a dungeon, all right. So basically, you pay some money and you go in there. It's like couples, singles, and basically you go there to explore your role-playing fantasies. Like, and they have all these kinds of rooms. They have dungeon, like torture chamber rooms. I'm dead serious. They have Chinese-themed rooms. She said they have a medieval style room at this place called Pandora's Box. So listen, if that's your bag, I'm into it. If you go there, I want you to message me, call me on the phone. I want to hear all about this, okay? But here's the thing. It's like, I think it's all fun and stuff to hear about and talk about and, watch maybe on TV as like a Sex and the City episode. But I think that you're going to meet some creeps there. And I'm sorry if you go. I'm not saying that, people shouldn't be open to explore. I would go check it out. I would. Not by myself. That's for damn sure. I would never go by myself. Anyway, another one is called Killing Kittens. I thought that was a game. I could have sworn I was in Target the other day and I saw a game, Killing Kittens. Well, if it is, there's also another club in the city. It's Killing Kittens. And this is one of these members only ones. You have to apply to join Killing Kittens. And all it is, it's couples, it's global, and it's just parties. So they like contact you and they say, hey, we're going to have like some, some party just focused on female pleasure. Or we're going to have a party just focused on hedonism. Yeah. So you can go to the website killingkittens.com if that interests you. And don't expect to find a card game. The fanciest one, though, that she told me about is called Sanctum. Literally Google this. SNCTM.com. So this club was founded in Beverly Hills, out in California. It's members only. It's private. They host a monthly masquerade party and a dinner, and they teach people like fetish stuff and erotic stuff. They have a pool party, and it's a judgment-free environment. Okay, all consensual judgment free. You know what? I just can't. I can't. I can't. I'll see you there. I mean, let's meet there Friday at 10 p.m. together. Really? I have 2 kids. I said to her, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me right now? But she loves it. She goes with guys that she dates, and, they're into some of these different kinks, and she thinks it's fun. So, that's all I got to say about that. Okay. So, let me tell you what my product is this week. I thought about what's the product, and then I was putting on my morning robe and slippers, and I was like, oh my God, these are the slippers that everybody needs to know about. So, okay, do you remember your grandma maybe put a pair of gold wedge scuff slippers on? Maybe they were gold leather scuff slippers. Well, the original brand, I have the original brand. The original brand is Daniel Green. They're called the Glamour Scuff Slipper. Glamour Scuff Slipper. You can get them at Nordstrom. You can find them on Amazon. But if you know what I'm talking about, it's a gold. I have the gold ones, because I like all gold everything. All gaudy gold everything. All the golden time. That's my motto. But it's I like the gold ones. They come in silver, I think silver and gold and black and whatever. But all it is, it's a leather slipper. It has a wedge. It's a scuff, so it has no back. And it's so glamorous. It's so glamorous. It's for me, I feel like I'm in a 1950s, Cary Grant movie, and I'm wearing a silk robe, and I'm sashaying all around the house in my slippers that make sort of a noise when I walk. I just love it, and I take strides. My kids think I'm ridiculous, but they love them too. They love to play them. So Daniel Green Glamour Scuff Slippers. They're a little pricey, $59.99, but I've had mine forever. I love them. My father's mother, my Nini, she's not alive anymore, but she used to wear slippers like that. She used to say, flats hurt her feet. I love that. I need my slippers with the heel because flats, they hurt my feet, My Aunt Lisa, her mother, is listening to this. I think she listens to this on my podcast. So that's right, Aunt Lisa. The gold wedge slipper returns, okay? Can't leave home without them. Or I should say, can't live home without them. So every week I do a couple of questions from my TikTok audience. And this question I love. It's because it's sort of out of my wheelhouse, but I've done it before. It says, Elyse, did you ever try Reiki? What are your thoughts? So, do you guys know what Reiki is? Have you ever tried it? You know what it is? So Reiki, if you don't know Reiki, it's a Japanese energy healing sort of technique. It's sort of I wouldn't say it's a Japanese energy treatment. So basically, it's like going to a spa, or you go to some sort of, I don't know, holistic office, which is where I went, and I went a few years ago. And you go into a room, and you meet with a Reiki teacher, I guess they call it. I don't even know, practitioner, and they talk to you about what's going on in your life right now, and then and then you go in for a treatment, and you basically lay down on a massage table, just as if you're getting a massage, and basically they use their hands. They don't touch you. They use their hands, and they just sort of make motions around your head and your back, and where the face, hole is, and your face in the hole. They put their hands, and they just do, sort of do that kind of shit. I wish you could see what I was doing right now. But one day when I have my daytime television talk show, then you could see. I got to put it out in the universe, otherwise it's not going to happen, But anyway, yeah, so basically it's a form of sort of meditation / a massage. And it supposedly helps physical and emotional imbalances. Let me tell you something. Let me just cut to the chase, okay? I went there because I was stressed out. I was stressed out with marriage, just before I had kids. Marriage, I was just stressed out with work, and I was younger, so I was thinking about my job, and I just felt like I had a lot of tension all over the place, and I bought a Groupon. That's right. I got a Groupon, and it was try a Reiki thing. I don't know what it was, but I know that somebody in a yoga class that I used to take, I used to go to Yoga Works down in Soho. Well, I still do, but nothing right now in 2020, everybody's most favorite year. But so somebody mentioned Reiki in a yoga class, and then I got this thing in my Groupon and in my email, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to try this. And it was literally life-changing. But I only went once, and I don't know why. So I laid down on this table. I left my underwear on. They put the thing, like sort of the towel over, and the woman was just doing all these weird things. I opened my eyes like one little bit, like when I flipped over onto my back, I like opened took like a wince and like winced, and I just saw her standing over me, sort of motioning her hands in circular motions around my stomach, on my chest, and it's supposed to heal if you have anxiety or pain and you want some sort of like balance, or if you want harmony. When I woke up, I swear to you, I shouldn't say woke up because I wasn't sleeping, but I feel like I was in a trance state. I felt just the weirdest feeling I've never felt. I felt like I literally felt like I just took 100-year nap. I felt like when she was actually doing it, I felt like this weird vibration going through my body. Like it was, not like chilling and not like pins and needles, just like I felt just like this weirdness over me. I can't even describe it. I just can't describe it. It wasn't somebody touching me. It was just like an amazing feeling. I literally didn't know what she was doing. She spoke to me a little bit here and there, but when I woke up, I felt refreshed. I felt like I took a 100-year nap. I felt less stressed. It was amazing. It was amazing. It's like sort of that feeling of like coming out of a sauna, or just like staying in for the whole weekend and just doing nothing. And then all of a sudden you wake up on a Monday morning and you walk out your house and you're like, I'm alive. That was literally the feeling. It was like the Alive vitamin commercials. That was it. I totally recommend it. So yes, I did do Reiki and I loved it. And I don't know why I never went back. I think I probably didn't go back because there was a part of me that was a little freaked out. Like, why did I feel so good? I don't understand what the hell this woman did. Is she a witch? Did she put a spell on me? But I felt, all I know is that I went in there with a purpose, and that was to be less stressed and have less anxiety about my marriage and work nonsense I was going through. And mission achieved. Okay. So I recommend it if you're thinking about doing it. Yeah, give it a try. I'll try. I really will try anything like once. I mean, within reason. I don't know if you're gonna find me at Killing Kittens anytime soon. In a Playboy bunny suit, but I'll try mostly everything. In reason. So yeah. Quote of the day. Everyone's favorite Dolly Parton. Everyone's favorite big boobied mama. This is the quote. The way I see it. If you want the rainbow, you got to put up with the rain. Dolly Parton. That's so good, right? Anyway, thank you for listening to episode 19 of the Elyse DeLucci Show. Please give me a review on Apple Podcasts. I know this is so annoying, right? Because I say this every week, but it's the week of Thanksgiving, so I hope you guys, if I don't talk to you, I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. Again, thank you for listening. You can follow me on TikTok at Elyse DeLucci, or follow me on Instagram. You can check out my website, whatever you want to do. I hope to see you soon. Have a happy and safe holiday.